Before the wire fell rapidly, my actor boyfriend hugged his first love, a popular actress, tightly. The two hugged and kissed each other, and finally landed in front of me, the director. Fans were cheering for the beautiful love between the actor and the popular actress. But I, as a director, was scolded on the hot search because I didn't arrange the venue properly. Later, as an actor, he openly confessed on the variety show that he had a deep and affectionate love, and said that he would always wait for that person to come back, and I hugged the biggest investor of this variety show and laughed softly. How do you think you became popular? I can make you popular, but I can also make you lose everything. Brother, if you want to blame someone, blame you for losing your cultivation and being unable to protect me. Xiaoyinger. The supporting actress's sword has pierced the hero's heart. The hero burst into tears, but trembled and stretched out his hand, trying to hug the person opposite him with the last bit of strength. Wow, he was framed and lost his cultivation at the peak moment, and was stabbed by the person he loved the most. Swishin simply restored the beautiful, strong and miserable male protagonist. Teacher Zhua is worthy of being the best actor. He just performed the shock, reluctance and grief to the fullest. Colleagues were all sighing at Zhua Wei's acting skills, but I found that Zhua Wei's condition today was not very good until the rivalry with Song Yifeng just now. However, Song Yifeng's performance did not meet my understanding of the supporting actress. Just when I was thinking about how to modify the rivalry between Zhua Wei and Song Yifeng, the assistant whispered to me. Sister Ing, let me tell you a gossip. It is said that Brother Zhua has not fallen in love yet, and has been waiting for this teacher Song. The two of them are childhood sweethearts. Childhood sweethearts. I was stunned. Zhua Wei had never mentioned to me that he had such an ambiguous friend. I suddenly remembered that the few love letters he wrote to me all contained the same sentence. The so-called lover is on the other side of the water. Yifeng, Yifeng. Is it this Yifeng? What broke my thoughts was the sudden and rapid fall of the wire accompanied by the screams of the venue staff. I watched Zhua Wei stagger in the air, and the props in his hand were all shaken out. Zhua Wei and I were lovers in college. We helped each other for 9 years. He loved and respected me. Letting me watch him die was tantamount to driving me crazy. Zhua Wei. I stood up, my eyes were dizzy, and I was trembling. The assistant quickly supported me. However, Zhua Wei's actions were faster than my thinking. He quickly embraced Song Yifeng in his arms and kissed her resolutely. His resoluteness burned my eyes. Perhaps this moment was the answer to all his life. The scene was in chaos, and only I was calmly calling the venue layout staff through the intercom to adjust the wire. Fortunately, the wire did not break, but Zhua Wei fell heavily to the ground to protect Song Yifeng. Song Yifeng knelt beside Zhua Wei and cried bitterly. The staff rushed over, and Zhua Wei, who was lying on the ground, tilted his head and looked at me, his face pale. Zhua Wei had a serious back injury and a broken bone, so he was rushed to the hospital. As the director of the crew, I was closely supervising and checking whether there were any other safety hazards in the crew's equipment. After everything was done, it was already the next morning. I sat in the car with dark eyes on the way to the hospital where Zhua Wei was staying. The driver, Uncle Huang, has been my exclusive master since I was a child. He looked at me, who was drowsy, and said hesitantly, "Miss, don't take those words on the internet seriously. We all saw how much Mr. Zhua loved you before." Oh, what a sympathetic expression. I opened Weibo on my mobile phone, and the tag hashtag actors Zhua Wei injured in the crew hashtag has topped the hot search list. Hashtag Zhua Wei protects Song Yifeng at the moment of life and death hashtag Zhua Wei and Song Yifeng kiss in death hashtag, and hashtag the love story of the actor and the top flower hashtag also followed closely. Help. The actress who can form a CP with Swishin has finally appeared. The exotic beauty played by Fong Fong in the last drama really captured my heart. The flower of jailing was pulled down from the altar by the enchanting little fairy. Love to watch. Wow, when the wire fell, Swishin hugged our Fong Fong. This French kiss was so determined to die for love. There are also posts that have dug up high school photos of Zhua Wei and Song Yifeng. It is said that the two lived together in childhood. No wonder Zhua Wei has always been chaste. It turns out that he kept his virginity for his childhood sweetheart. I bumped into it. I was tiredly scrolling through the hot searches, and suddenly saw Zhua Wei's fans were indignant. What's wrong with the director of the crew? Why can't he make a fool of himself when such a big accident happened? Yes. Zhua Wei was injured. It's not worth it to pay her back, right? Someone also spoke up for me. Has anyone noticed that half of Swishin's dramas are directed by this director? A lousy director needs actors to support the scene if he wants to produce good works. My friend knows this director. When she was in college, she made bad movies and was often scolded by her teacher as a negative example. The public opinion was directed at me because Song Yifeng liked an article that implied that I was a bad director who became famous because of Swawei and actually had no ability. Although she quickly cancelled the like, it was still screenshotted and forwarded by netizens who were quick to act. The actor went down to the stage and beat him up. It must be true. Jiang Fangying came out to apologize. This director must have someone behind him. Who was the big boss who funded it? Sister, you got the filming resources by sleeping with others. Aren't you afraid of seeing ghosts? The hot surge, #Jiang Fangying is not worthy of starring in Dark Shadow, #also sword. When I arrived at the door of the ward, Song Yifeng was holding an apple to feed Swawei. Swawei's mouth was already open, but when he tilted his head, he saw me outside the ward and quickly dodged the hand that was feeding him. When Song Yifeng saw me coming slowly, he immediately leaned against Swawei's chest with deep affection and said with red eyes, "I'm sorry, Sister Yingying, it's all my fault. If it wasn't for Brother Wei kissing me, I wouldn't have been so badly injured." He sobbed twice after saying that. I raised my eyebrows and looked at Swawei. His body stiffened. He neither pushed away nor hugged back, nor did he explain. Swawei's silence further fueled Song Yifeng's arrogance. She leaned weakly in Swawei's arms, but her eyes were vicious when she looked at me, with a smug and vicious smile on her lips. Swawei's silence also hurt me. 9 years of love, like the moon in the water, can't be pursued. I said coldly, "You wrote me so many love letters, and the one on the other side of the water turned out to be the other side?" Swawei frowned, his pale face was hesitant to speak. Song Yifeng lifted his hair proudly and said shyly, "These are the codes we used when we started dating in junior high school." I laughed and said, "Really? Then why did the actors say that I was his first love?" Song Yifeng's smile froze on his face, and he glanced at Swawei with red eyes and unwillingness, and then sobbed again. "I know that many people on the internet have said that you are not worthy of being the director of Dark Shadow recently, and asked you to get out of the crew. You are angry, but you don't have to vent your anger on Wei Go. He also hopes that the movie can be broadcast smoothly." "What did you say?" Swawei struggled to sit up from the bed, and his big movement pulled the wound. He took a breath, and cold sweat appeared on his forehead, but he still frowned and looked at me. Song Yifeng didn't know, but Swawei couldn't be unaware of the twists and turns inside. I stared into his eyes and said word by word, "Yes, I am not worthy of being the director of Dark Shadow. So I unilaterally proposed not to shoot." I shrugged, "You don't have to come to the crew anymore." After leaving the hospital, I fell asleep in the car. When I woke up, there were more than 10 missed calls on my phone, all from Swawei. There were also a few text messages. "Song Yifeng is just my sister. She speaks a little bluntly, but her heart is definitely not bad. I kissed her just because I was too immersed in the play. Isn't Dark Shadow your hard work? Don't mess around and debase your efforts. And I will always be with you. We can successfully complete Dark Shadow, right? I cooked your favorite rice wine dumplings at home. Why haven't you come back yet? Do you not want me? It's so funny, how can a brother kiss his sister passionately?" And he said I degraded my efforts. Who was disgusting and degrading me? During college, a teacher said that I was the least talented student in the directing department, and that no one would watch the things I shot. Swawei's eyes sparkled, and he gently said that every film I shot was very meaningful. That day, I was shooting outside the school and was drenched by the sudden heavy rain. Swawei smiled and handed me a towel, praising me for my hard work in shooting. His praise made me flattered. Swawei, the school idol of the acting department, was often praised by professors, and whoever could invite him to be the leading actor would surely shine. I took the courage to ask him to be my leading actor. We shuttled through the school, alleys, and cities together, went to the beach to shoot the sunset together, and shot the school's promotional video together. He has always been emotionally stable and cold, and tolerated my lateness, forgetfulness, and nerves. In the 9 years together, he did not have private contacts with any female stars, and even asked for the kissing scenes to be misplaced. Fans regard him as a cold god who is not moved by mortals, and claim that no female star is worthy of being paired with him. The god who is not in touch with the world will be so busy that he will not remember his birthday, but he will always remember to prepare ginger sugar water for me during my menstrual period. He is my spear and I am his shield. We have worked together on many movies, and he has also won the title of Best Actor. Now that he has achieved success and fame, He finally dares to lick Bai Yuiguan, who abandoned him and went abroad alone because he despised him for having no money and no future. He also uses me as a resource springboard to please Bai Yuiguan. He doesn't even think about how he became famous, and how he deserves to be my leading actor. It's a pity that you broke your back and didn't stay in bed to recuperate but cooked for me. Why don't you look in the mirror and see if you are qualified? Uncle Huang has parked the car in the underground garage of the villa in his hometown. I plan to come back to rest and relax. Oh, the big director hit a wall outside and cried and knew to go home? As soon as I entered the door, I heard my brother Jiang Qingyao mocking me in a yin and yang tone. My childhood sweetheart Gu Xiuyu jumped up from the sofa, looking like a golden retriever looking at people, and rushed to me and hugged me tightly. Sister Ying, you haven't been back for a long time, I really miss you. When I heard this, I could no longer suppress the grief of betraying friendship and the embarrassment of being questioned by others. He Wei has a childhood sweetheart, who doesn't have a childhood sweetheart? I suddenly softened in Gu Xiuyu's arms, my nose shrunk, my mouth curled and I cried, yes, Wei, that damn stinky man. What did he do to you? After listening to my crying, Jiang Qingyao put away his playful expression, and Gu Xiuyu also straightened his face. I told them everything, including Song Yifeng's tricks and the abuse and yellow rumors against me on the internet. Huh? The director of Jianggu Entertainment needs actors to justify his name? Jianggu Entertainment is the company that my brother and Gu Xiuyu developed together to enter the entertainment industry after taking over the family business. Jianggu's products are high quality, which is a fact that is tacitly acknowledged in the entertainment industry. It is also a company that all major directors and actors are scrambling to get into. It's just a matter of me moving my finger to terminate the contract with an actor. My brother curled his lips. Hey, Brother Yao, Jianggu Entertainment also has my share. You really don't care about my life or death when it comes to paying the penalty. Gu Xiuyu interrupted dissatisfiedly. I burst into laughter. Then you terminated the contract with an actor, wouldn't it be a big loss? Gu Xiuyu smiled and scratched my nose. The boy who always chased after me and called me sister is now a head taller than me and has grown into a decisive heir to the company. How can money be more important than your happiness? He sighed in my ear. He finally gave me a chance. You also, look back at me. Shadow temporarily delayed the filming under the pressure of public opinion. After a period of rest, I received an invitation to a variety show. This is a variety show that showcases practitioners from all walks of life. The episode 1 was invited to attend is mainly about public figures. I didn't plan to participate, but Song Yifeng's name was listed among the invited guests. Obviously, the organizer wanted to use me to get some attention and praise the popular little flower who was in the limelight recently. That's right, after all, I am just an unknown little director to the outside world. I curled my lips and accepted the invitation. During the show, the host asked us to introduce ourselves as detailed as possible. Song Yifeng sat in the C position and said delicately, "Hello everyone, I am your Feng Feng. I studied abroad for many years and returned after studying under someone's suggestion. I like to do yoga and have some research on piano and flower arrangement. I am currently filming Shadow with Wei Go. Please support me when the time comes." With Song Yifeng's last sweet wink, the live broadcast room barrage has been flooded with comments. Feng Feng is so beautiful. WWW, how can my wife be so versatile? Who is someone? Zhuo Shen? Feng Feng didn't forget to cue Zhuo Shen at this time. The two of them are really real. I love them so much. She called Zhuo Shen Wei Zigu. So intimate. They must have an affair. Seeing the heated atmosphere of the barrage, Song Yifeng whispered to me provocatively, Zhuo Wei's favorite person is me. This ferocious look is far from the delicate and exotic beauty she usually creates. Sure enough, inferior love makes people hateful. Of course, I disdained to fight with her for such a half-hearted and stinky man. I smiled and didn't comment. Hello everyone, I am Jiang Fangying, and my profession is a director. At the host's suggestion, I had to speak again. I don't have any hobbies. I like to lie down when I have nothing to do. Ha 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 ha, what's wrong with this Jiang Fangying? She is just a bad person. The director who injured Zhuo Wei's crew? No wonder his business ability is poor. It's so funny, she's pretty but she's just a vase, not even as good as one of Feng Feng's toes. She's qualified to act in Dark Shadow? Is Jianggu finally going to go bankrupt? Woo woo woo, please stop. Jianggu Entertainment is my only motivation to stay in the domestic entertainment industry. Dark Shadow is the hard work of Wei Ge and I, and it's also the new work that Jianggu Entertainment has been working hard on recently. I believe Jianggu will give us a good explanation for our efforts. Dark Shadow deserves a better director. Sister Fong Fong speaks so straightforwardly, I like it. Face to face. What is strength? This is strength, leaning back. Gu show you, come and sign our Fong Fong. I looked at the comments and raised my lips to mock. The filming of Dark Shadow has been temporarily suspended because of the need to make certain adjustments to the actors. For my own reasons, I also want to take a break before filming. Besides, the company that Miss Song has signed with now is not Jianggu, right? How can she speak for Jianggu? When she heard what I said, Song Yifeng's face turned red with anger. Not being able to sign Jianggu has always been her grievance. Jiang Fangying, what are you so proud of? Didn't you also not sign Jianggu? Sister Fong Fong has been working hard to sign a contract. This is a matter of time. Jiang Fangying should look at herself before she laughs at others. She is from a small entertainment company. This woman is so arrogant. How dare she say that Dark Shadow will not be filmed because she doesn't want to film it anymore? Does Jiang Fangying have any representative works? How dare she come out and jump out? She is not even worthy of carrying our Fong Fong's shoes. How can Jianggu tolerate her posing like this? If you want to shoot, then go away. Change someone. The comments on the barrage became more and more intense, and Song Yifeng occupied the moral high ground, in high spirits. Wait, I suddenly realized that every work of Jiang Fangying has Jianggu Entertainment written behind it. Although some people noticed the subtlety, they were soon drowned out. Suddenly, a lazy male voice came from far away. I think everyone is wrong. From casting to props, Dark Shadow was planned and organized by Ms. Jiang. This drama is supported by Ms. Jiang. Right, Sister Ying? Gu Shuyu stood beside me and smiled at me mischievously. Wow. So handsome. Who is this man? 3 minutes, I want to get all his information. There are such handsome men in the entertainment industry? Please debut here. Hey, this man looks familiar. I seem to have seen him in financial news. Gu Xiaoyu. Isn't this Jianggu CEO? I met him at the Jianggu press conference. The host dared not say anything when Gu Xiaoyu showed up without saying anything. This is our special guest, Mr. Gu Xiaoyu, the CEO of Jianggu Entertainment. I looked at him speechlessly and shocked, and asked in a low voice, you don't go to talk about your project, and you don't worry about others saying that you are embarrassing yourself by participating in the variety show? Wow, Sister Ying, you are so heartless. I found a place for you, don't you feel sorry for me? After that, he pulled me pitifully, I don't care, I want to eat barbecue tonight, you grill it for me. After that, he pulled my hand and waved it, just like a child who was begging for candy. This arrogant man, I am speechless. Jiang Fangying's face was full of disgust. My God, the world is going downhill, and a big man is begging, shame on you. Younger CEO Little Milk Dog times Buddhist director Cold-Face Big Sister, I'm so embarrassed. Song Yifeng's eyes lit up when she saw Gu Xiaoyu on stage. If you get on Gu's boat, are you afraid of not having resources in the future? She twisted her hips and walked towards Gu Xiaoyu leisurely. Hello, Mr. Gu. She pinched her throat, trying to be delicate and beautiful, looking at Gu Xiaoyu with sparkling eyes, as if there was an inexplicable friendship, and even raised her hand to put on Gu Xiaoyu's shoulder. Gu Xiaoyu retreated as if bitten by a dog, and tried to get closer to my arms. Gu Xiaoyu's shiver like he was hit by the plague is really funny. What's wrong with the president? There is no gentlemanly manners at all. Our Fong Fong's eyes are red. The man in front, can you be a gentleman to sexual harassment? Gu Xiaoyu brushed the place that Song Yifeng had touched, and said sarcastically. Miss Song, you better keep yourself clean. Jianggu Entertainment looks at strength, not just any monster can get in. Ignoring Song Yifeng's embarrassment and frozen smile after being rejected, Gu Xiaoyu said aggressively, Sister Ying's resources are all obtained by herself. Some marketing accounts on the internet are too funny. They are good at leading the rhythm without knowing the truth. Instead of thinking about finding connections and getting resources, some people might as well polish their acting skills, right? After saying this, Gu Xiaoyu was still mean, and looked up and down at Song Yifeng with an exaggerated expression. Oh. You are just bullying Sister Ying because she is beautiful, kind, and easy to talk to. The biggest investor of Dark Shadow is Sister Ying's brother. If Sister Ying doesn't make this movie well, she will have to go back to inherit the family business. Ha ha ha, Gu Xiaoyu is like a protective puppy who bites people when he catches them. Woo 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 woo, one day I actually think that the domineering president is so cute. Someone is using connections to get resources. Is this a hint to Song Yifeng? Song Yifeng was the female lead in the last drama? Someone criticized her at that time. Wow, so the Jiang and Jianggu entertainment is this Jiang? Jiang Fangying is the young lady experiencing life. Gu Shuyu's appearance quickly attracted the attention of all netizens. I suspect that his strict family education suppressed his nature. He is now completely free and even chats with the barrage. Can I sign a contract with an amateur? Oh, I can't decide. I'm just a worker. Everything depends on Mr. Jiang. Can I see my chest muscles? You're so bold. Of course not. Only Sister Yingying can see my chest muscles. What the hell is Gu Shouyu talking about? What's the relationship between me and Jiang Fangying? I haven't figured it out yet. I'm chasing Sister Yingying. We're childhood sweethearts and we're in love. It's only a matter of time before we get together. Me? Don't talk nonsense. No one cared about Song Yifeng, who was left out and looked worse and worse. Recalling how Song Yifeng shamelessly tried to flirt with Gu Shouyu, I sneered. Sui Wei, this lover, didn't take him seriously. After the shooting, I waited for Gu Shouyu to sign autographs for his new fans and leave together, but an unexpected guest arrived. Fang Ying, Sui Wei's bare arm was still wrapped in bandages. I have no other relationship with Yifeng. Don't be angry, you are still immature, always making fun of love and career. Sui Wei, why didn't I notice that you loved to preach so much before? Do you think I don't know that you and Song Yifeng have been neighbors since you were 7 years old, dating in junior high school and college? She despised you for being poor and abandoned you to study abroad. Now you are doing well, you are a movie star, she wants to get a piece of your pie as an actress, and comes back to find you, and you rush to meet her. Are you cheap, Sui Wei? When the wire fell, you thought of kissing her first, you still can't let her go, right? You hate her for abandoning you, but you want her to rely on you. Have you ever thought about what I would do if you died? Have you considered my feelings? I love you so much, but what about you? Sui Wei's right eye dropped a tear, his right eye is still so sensitive. I did love him sincerely, loved him for picking leaves from my hair, loved him for always listening to my wild imagination with a smile. I saw Song Yifeng coming out from the corner, she was standing behind Sui Wei. Sui Wei knew nothing. Of course I love you too, I was with you for 9 years sincerely. I just don't want to give up on her. In fact, I should have let it go long ago. I can't live without you now. After saying that, Sui Wei stretched out his hand to pull me. But a stronger hand touched my waist and hugged me into his arms. Gu Shouyu's gloomy eyes revealed a bad attitude, and he said with a look of surprise, "Don't pretend to be affectionate here. Giving you 6 years to take care of Fang Ying is already a compliment to you. Since you don't have this blessing, I still advise you to get out of here early and stop being an eyesore. Don't let it be a waste of time, and you can't even keep your childhood sweetheart." Sui Wei turned around immediately after hearing this, looking at Song Yifeng, who had cried so hard that his eyes and nose were red. He subconsciously wanted to walk over, but perhaps considering that I was still there, he looked at me hesitantly, and I had already walked away in Gu Shouyu's arms without looking back. Because the variety show is a live broadcast, I had a small explosion that night. Because I said frankly that I wanted to change the role of Shadow, I recently received many self-recommendations from actors. Gu Shouyu won a wave of favor with his straightforward and high-profile domineering personality, and many of the company's products were bought crazily by consumers. But Song Yifeng's situation was not so good. After receiving hints from the capital side, many marketing accounts dug up her dirty laundry, causing many endorsements to terminate their contracts with her. According to Gu Shouyu, the role of the exotic beauty that she filmed last year was indeed created by sleeping with her, and the other party was my childhood friend. Thinking of his early fat body and family-inherited baldness, I was really amazed at Song Yifeng's courage. Well, if she had followed a director like me, would she still be like this? Unfortunately, I fired both her and Sui Wei. The character in Shadow was designed by me based on Sui Wei and me, which made Gu Shouyu jealous for a long time. When did you start to like me? Gu Shouyu lay on my legs, and I stroked his head unscrupulously. When I first met you, you were 6 and I was 5, and you were wearing a white gauze dress. I thought you were a fairy. Stop talking nonsense. I laughed and scolded, patting his head, you are so slick. Who is slick? Gu Shouyu lay on his side angrily, and I could just see his long eyelashes, and his mouth bulging with anger. You don't know how long I cried when you told me you had a boyfriend. I almost cried my eyes blind. Hearing my laughter, he turned around and pinched my face, rubbing it up and down, his eyes flickering. On the first night you lived with him, I drank so much that my stomach perforated and I was hospitalized. You don't remember it at all? I was silent. I really don't remember it. At that time, Sway and I were very affectionate and had a low level of perception of other people. I only remember that when I went to the hospital to visit him the next day, he pointed at my neck and asked me to cover the marks on it. You always move forward, and I can't keep up with you. I'm only 1 year younger than you, but I'm 1 grade lower than you, and I missed a lot of your life. You were so flamboyant at that time, and you said you wanted to be a director with great enthusiasm. You talked to me about your dreams and your first boyfriend, while I just finished one test paper after another in the dark. I went to school and took over the company step by step, while you went all over the world to make movies. I was really afraid that I would never catch up with you. Fortunately, God gave me a chance, and you turned back. Although Jianggu did not terminate the contract with Sway also took the initiative to resign from the role of the male lead. I heard that Sway was in poor health these days and had a high fever for several days. The night before I moved to Gu Shouyu's house, I went to the room where I lived with Sway to pack some important documents and scripts. Sway told me that he had broken up with Song Yifeng and held my hand to ask for reconciliation, but I refused. He chased me to the door of my hometown and stood in the rain all night. Many friends who knew we were together advised me to go see him. He had a high fever and was talking nonsense, calling my name. I laughed in my heart. Why did he always regret after losing? It was too naive to want to hurt himself to make me turn back. My mistakes can only be used to punish myself. After changing a group of new actors, my filming progress was much faster, and my life with Gu Shouyu was also sweet. Apparently, some people don't want me to live comfortably. Song Yifeng, who couldn't get a sponsor, began to market his love story with the actor Sway. From the age of first love to the peak of their fame, there were 9 unknown years in between. When a fan asked, she only said that the distance was destined to make them go through a period of time without each other. The atmosphere created made people cry, but Sway slapped her in the face. Sway V. I admit that I had a relationship with Ms. Song Yifeng. But after we broke up peacefully, I met my true love, and I didn't have any feelings with Ms. Song Yifeng after she returned to China. Don't take advantage of our brother, you idiot Song Yifeng. First you hug the sponsor, and then you take advantage of the popularity. If you don't have any strength, you should quit the circle. Not only did Song Yifeng fail to make a beautiful comeback, but she was scolded. Maybe it was because of the continuous setbacks, and Sway was the last straw that broke the camel's back. She actually photoshopped the photos of me and Sway and posted them online. Although Gu Shouyu discovered and deleted the post in time, she did anger Gu Shouyu. Gu Shouyu smashed the desk in the office after hearing the news. Song Yifeng is awesome. She dared to challenge me. I'll make her disappear from the entertainment industry. Okay, it's photoshopped, not real. I'm not that angry. Gu Shouyu hugged me, buried his head in my neck, and said sullenly, a bunch of low-class people. Warm tears dripped on my pulse. He cared more about my situation than I did. Why didn't I find him so cute before? After Sway adjusted his state for a while, he started filming again. We are in the same company, so it's inevitable that we will see each other every day. Although I refused many times, he still proposed to pursue me again. In the latest variety show, he said that he is still pursuing his ex-girlfriend hard. Because of Song Yifeng's incident, everyone knows that I am his so-called true love that he has been waiting for. The actor times the director, a perfect match. Don't say nonsense in front that Ying belongs to our little Gu. 2 men fighting for 1 woman, love watching, slurping, don't watch, focus. Gu Shouyu domineeringly turned my head over, and a wet kiss fell on the corner of my mouth. He said vaguely, who is better, me or him? You are really going to die. Arrogant man. Afterwards, I posted a Weibo. There are not many 9 years in life. In the 9 years we have been together, you have become a movie emperor, and I am still an unknown little director. I hope you will get better and better without me in the future. I am not grateful for our 9 years at all. Remember, I will only lead you for these 9 years.